Hey guys, welcome to the live session. And yeah, a lot of things have happened again, and that's why there is a reason for update to tell you guys what's going on. There have been a few different points that I've compiled for you, and especially for the students who have been like coming, who are planning to come in the summer semester. And this is the reason we can like sit down, discuss. Like, I generally don't do live sessions, and the reason right now it's like because there hasn't been something like done previously, like this entire COVID scenario. Yeah, it's not so nice. Thanks again, everybody, for joining in. My name is Bharat. I did my master's in international management engineering from Technical University of Hamburg, and in this video, I want to talk about the summer semester 2020. What kind of like different points you should be like remembering, and how you should be like going about it. Like what kind of plans you could have for like coming to Germany, or like maybe even staying in India, whatever like your different options are. We are going to discuss that. The first question I'm going to pick right away. All right, so like first of all, like the topics are the measures by different universities, travel restrictions, emergency cases, because in a lot of cases, like also if you have some kind of emergency, like you can travel to different kind of countries. So like you can essentially cross the borders and travel to wherever you want to go to. And like I'm going to discuss like what those emergency cases are, what are the possible actions that you can take. Nah? All right. So then afterwards, the first question I want to like start right away. This was a post from Shivam Bhalla in Indians in Munich Facebook group, and I saw that previously somebody posted in the chat like can you travel to Germany on your normal student visa, and seems like the German embassy has like given a confirmation that yes, like since you have a national visa you can travel. So that's not an issue. And like here was like Shivam's email where he was like saying in detail that I'm allowed to fly to Germany on this and this. I have a national visa type of employment category, right? So that the same also goes for students. And if you would take a look at about this on the Deutsche Welle website, you will also like find more details there, where they are saying who can enter and who can't. Nah? So travelers in possession of a residence permit or visa that approves them for a long-term stay in Germany will also be allowed to enter the country. It remains unclear if student visa holders will be allowed to enter the country, particularly as schools and universities consider temporarily closing or postponing the start of classes. So like they are saying like it's unclear, but most of the times when you're like standing there on the border control, like they are not going to have any kind of issues like letting you in, because you have the travel insurance. Like that's pretty much the most necessary thing right now. And then afterwards, when it comes around like 20th April or something, then you can like just normally enroll in the universities and get your entire thing started. Now, so still like the students who want to come for summer semester, there's nothing to worry about. Yes, like a few things are going to get delayed, and rightly so. I mean, of course, there's nothing more important than like curbing this like crazy disease, which is like spreading like wildfire. But like there's still no need to worry about like, hey, like maybe I have to like miss out on like 6 months of my entire like academic career or something like that. That's not the case at all. So that was the response from the German embassy. Then afterwards, let's see what different kind of universities have been doing. So TUM has put some kind of restrictions from 18th March, and they said like first it is going to be till 31st March, and then afterwards they're going to see like how they can go further. Some restrictions will be kept in effect until at least 19th April. So this is also like another interesting thing. Many universities have like said clearly about the 19th April part, that like most of the things are going to be closed till then, right? Rishi is asking, the exams are getting postponed. What should I do now? If the exams are getting postponed, you really can't do much. Like the only thing you could be doing is like investing more time and like making productive use of that time. I've seen so many students, man, like just like taking or like considering this entire like 2 week scenario as some kind of like party time, or like just chilling out and like not doing anything time. But you would be like doing some major mistakes if you're doing that. Whatever you're doing, like you have these 2 weeks to essentially get a jump start on everybody else, and stay at home, like do the things that you weren't doing previously, and I think like you'll be completely fine. Then we have the same notice from TUHH, essentially, which have said like very clearly that everything is going to be again closed till like 19th April, and even the cafeterias and everything are going to be suspended till 30th April. Then about the exams and everything was already cancelled, and I think TUHH was one of the first universities to like say all of these things. Estimated date of removal of ban. Okay, so the ban right now is till 31st March for most of the EU countries, but it is possible that it can get extended more. But the people who are having the long-term visa, like the Deutsche Welle also mentioned, you guys don't have to worry. Like here it's like written that, okay, it remains unclear, but the embassy's response is like you can still travel. Then afterwards, if you look at the flights, because I was taking a look at the flights, what is the entire scenario, how are the things looking. So it is still like possible to find some flights which are like highly like overpriced. So I would rather say, till 31st March, there are anyways these travel restrictions. So like it doesn't really, let me close the browser here. Yeah. Till 31st March, it's anyways like, a massive restriction. It doesn't make sense to come till then. So, but then afterwards, you can still fly around, let's say, 1st March or something. 1st March, if you take a look at the different kind of flights that we can have. Ahmad Ashraf Khan is asking, can first-time travelers come? Yeah, you can come, because like with the visa, you still have the option of staying like longer term. Like you are not there for like tourist visa, and that is what they have clearly mentioned. Holders of shorter term visas, including tourist and business trips, will not be allowed to enter the country. The police, the German federal police said, right? Alright, so Suchit is saying, joined for summer semester 2020 but was not allowed to leave Delhi because of student visa. A friend of mine was asked to return back to India from Frankfurt Flughafen. What do you suggest for us? Now, this is again like a very interesting like detail. Yeah, Suchit, I mean, if that's the case, yeah, I mean, that sucks. But so far, what I've been hearing from many different kind of travelers is like that they were allowed and they were like asked to go into self-quarantine. And this is the reason, like till 31st March, it really doesn't make sense to travel. Nah? The flights that you see are also overpriced. And if like this kind of scenario happen where like you're asked to travel back to India from Frankfurt, it's like real nonsense. So still, like whatever dates you want to like kind of book for, like try to book them around, let's say 1st April or something. 1st April, you have still like more flights flying around. Man, even Aeroflot is crazy expensive. I like cannot believe, and this is just like one side flight. But of course, like they have to make up for the losses too. So like you will have to see. Air India is going to be your best option so far. Air India would be like providing you a lot of different kind of options there, and like it might be one of the cheapest. So yeah, here it's like also like the cheapest is Air India for 470 euros, and if you like contact them directly, ask about the student discount and everything, that is going to be better. My advice is going to be to like just travel in the late April, like let's say around, the better dates are going to be anywhere from like this 6th till 19th. Like I think these 2 weeks are going to be still a better time to travel. And the reason I'm saying that is like Germany is kind of like able to control it a lot better. Like China's like this entire graph, I find an absolute joke. Like how is it possible that one day like you're having like 14,000 cases? Like of course they were changing their like testing techniques, and that's why the jump was there. But how do you like in a population of 1.4 billion people, you are just like kind of having like no cases afterwards? It's very hard for me to believe this entire story. But like Germany is definitely trying their best, and we were expecting an inflection here when it went from 19,000 till 22,000, because like the daily number of cases decreased. But yesterday we again had a spike, but it's still like a downward trend. Like the spike yesterday wasn't a bigger spike than previously on March 20th. I still like definitely believe like Germany would be able to handle it really nicely. And if you take a look at the number of hospital beds per 10,000 or something like that, you see like the number of beds and everything is like really nice in Germany. Number of hospital beds per 10,000 per thousand in Germany. And these kind of like stats are like really nice. It just gives you a better idea of like how much prepared a country is. And this is the reason, like, previously I was saying that yeah, Germany like really screwed it up this time, but they essentially didn't. What happened was like they were really aware that if they are doing the lockdown really early, then a lot of businesses will get affected. Like imagine, take a look at our example. We were planning to launch the Airbnb on 1st April, right? And like whatever we had like saved in the last few years, we like really invested in this house that we bought, and we were repairing it, and we were thinking like, all right, maybe like afterwards we are able to launch it, maybe people come, and then we are able to like earn some money, and then we can invest it back in the house. But that's not working out, and like that's not just a story for us. That is going to be a story of a lot of people who are like involved in tourism or any kind of like other businesses which depend on people traveling, right? So I mean, this is just the scenario, and this is the reason the German government first decided that let's tell them like what exactly are the measures that we are going to put in place, and then we can like talk about the lockdown. And other countries like did the opposite. First they talked about the lockdown, and then they talked about, if they at all talked about, what kind of benefits they will give, which doesn't make sense. And it doesn't make sense because like unless you are not sure like how your livelihood will be secured, you of course don't know like if you want to like stay in the house, or if you still want to leave the house to take care of yourself, to like bring some money home to take care of your family. So I mean, Germany did a nice thing. Like India has been doing really nice things too, like with already like doing the travel bans and everything. But the thing that like kind of like irritates me is like how they're like really increasing the excise duty on the petrol, and in these times they're like increasing the GST when the economy is going to be really screwed up everywhere. It's not just going to be Germany. Like forget about it. Like Germany, yes, I mean anyways. But India is going to be like massively screwed up too. Like anybody who thinks like there's not going to be one country which is not going to be affected by this, yeah, they're like highly delusional, including India, including Germany, including anywhere else where you wanted to go. So I mean, it's really important that the government also like talks about different kind of like benefit programs, and I think Germany will do well. And this is also the reason, if you take a look at the death rates, like in Germany, you still have one of the lowest because people are able to get into the ICU. I think it's here, yeah. They're able to get into the ICU like as soon as possible. And like they have the sufficient number of ventilators, they have the testing kits and everything, and it's not an issue. Whereas in Italy, like you see the death rates to be a lot higher. It's like 45% or something. Maybe the number increases, you never know. But I'm still like, I'm still hoping that it's better, because it really like it's all people. Every single number that you're seeing is like just like people behind them. So yeah, that was just something that I wanted to share, that you can still like maybe plan on traveling after 10th April. Maybe that makes sense for you. The universities, they have posted different kind of details on their websites. Like always, like take a look at them, no matter what kind of like information is flying around. Like you have Facebook groups which are like saying one thing or the other, but still like in the end, go to the university's website, take a look what they're saying, and then afterwards just move forward. University of Bayreuth, TUHH, TU Munich, like all of them have their own like advisories up there, and like you can just get an idea of what kind of things are awaiting you. Then you should take a look at the Federal Foreign Office's this page where it's like coronavirus entry restrictions, 4 things travelers need to know to come to Germany and things like that. Take a look at these like official details on like the different websites. They will really help you out. And from here, one thing that you see, like this is now the part where you can like maybe take some break for the students who are like kind of like planning on coming to summer semester, but maybe this is more about the students who are already in Germany. So there have been like some kind of like discussions here, like they talk about like should we stockpile on food and stuff like that. And Germany actually had a long guideline about like stockpiling some kind of food always in your homes. And there's this entire like PDF that you can take a look at. This PDF is from it's titled Guide for Emergency Preparedness and Correct Action in Emergency Situation. No? And then when you take a look, like they're always saying like you should have at least like around 2 weeks of food or something like that, right? With a supply of food and drink to last you 10 days, you're ready for this. Yeah. So like 10 days or something, like till the time help comes. So that's why they have some kind of guidelines here that like keep this much water, keep this, that, and do these kind of things. So this is an interesting like PDF, and it's like from which ministry is it? Federal Ministry of Interior, Building and Community. So you should also like take a look at these things for the students who are already there, right? Okay, and I had a very interesting question here. Diksha Vishnu is asking, Bharat, I got admission in university for Pedabon for MS in computer science for summer semester. I resigned my job already. I had my appointment on 11th Feb. Now I'm waiting for visa. What should I do? So Diksha, the story with that is like most of the embassy, like the German embassies and the consulates, they are giving back the visas, and they're asking you to withdraw your application so that they don't have to reject your visa. So like most probably if you're waiting for the visa, I think like they are going to give it back to you, but like without the visa stamp because of these travel restrictions and everything. Nah. Yeah, so that is the story. Like, so like don't really like hope too much for it. Keshav is asking, Keshav Machad is asking, what are chances of summer semester getting cancelled? I would, Keshav, still say like it's very unlikely, because like I think losing 6 months for anybody or like any kind of like university, that is going to be a big hit. Like if they have to like go there, then things are definitely going to be massively screwed up. And I would say like instead of postponing, like most of the universities are saying like they are not going to postpone it. Like TUHS said that like yeah, they're going to postpone it, but they're not going to cancel it. TUHS said that the summer semester is postponed. Courses will start on 20th April. The end of the lecture period will be postponed accordingly to 28th July, and so on. University of Bayreuth said the same thing, that there's going to be like some kind of delays in like opening of the summer semester. But again, like all of this is only for the betterment. June results of entrance exams. So shall I wait and apply for summer semester for student colleague, or just apply in India on the basis of current situation? I really want to do my bachelor's in Germany. Ishan, if that's the scenario, you can like start your bachelor's in India too, and then after the first semester you can still come to Germany. That's not an issue. And an important thing to remember for anybody who's watching is that no matter what is happening, you should always be doing something. Like just because like one kind of like gate is closed, don't think and like sit and say, hey, let me like wait till this door is open so that I can like work further or like maybe move further. Always be doing different things on the side, always. And like for example, like right now I'm like kind of focusing more on like just learning some Danish. And why? Because like I have a lot of time right now. Like the Airbnb that we were expecting isn't like, of course, isn't running at all, and we are not like opening it either. We were planning a big launch, and then afterwards I'm like taking a look at some kind of books on online. That's also like really cool, because you have this free German library where you can like just borrow stuff. So the same goes for you. Like if you're like not able to yet like start your studies in Germany for your bachelor's, then start your bachelor's in India and then like keep going further. All right, so that is a story. These we talked about. Yeah, this is also an important kind of like information that is maybe something that you need. On Lufthansa's website, if you would like read a bit more in the fine print, like you will see this Rückhol program, which is aimed at bringing German citizens back to Germany. And these you can also like write to the German embassy, and like you can ask them if you could like register yourself in this program too, if there are some seats. Of course, like Germans are the priority. Then afterwards, if you still want to come, maybe around like 1st April or something, with some kind of partial cost that you have to pay, that could be an interesting thing if you do not find any kind of other flights, right? So keep this in mind. Like you can contact your local German missions about this program and say like if they're like, is there some kind of like list where you can see like if you can like register yourself and also like travel there. Yeah. So Chiang is asking, what about winter semester? Is there delay for that as well? So far they haven't said anything, Chiang. If you take a look at these different universities websites, the examinations will not start until 29th July and will take place until 9th October. Like in practice, this means that the first 2 examination weeks of July will be added to the end of the examination period. Most probably like the winter semester might not get postponed because they have to like have some kind of buffer somewhere, nah? So yeah, that's the story. Like I wouldn't think so. Like maybe they have to do it afterwards, but right now I don't think they will have to do it. Maybe they make the summer semester shorter. Maybe they take lesser examinations or like lesser courses in their summer semester, and then they just add some more stuff in the winter semester, but still like keep it at the same time. Like it is going to get controlled. Everybody who's like freaking out way too much right now, that's not the right way to go about it. Tanish Mishra, why are there so many Indians in German university? Jeez. It's free. It's free. It has good quality education, and it is a smart decision to make. Like why would you like spend maybe 20 or 30,000 US dollars in order to study or like get your master's degree when you can like get the same done when you're like in a German university? All right. So, right. Then these were the few things. Let me like summarize everything a bit again. Like you have the measures taken by the different universities we already discussed, and then whatever kind of like travel restrictions are there, like around like till 31st March you're having that. Then you're having the emergency cases we haven't discussed yet, right? So let's go to the emergency cases and what kind of things they are writing. What are the urgent reasons? So this is on the Federal Ministry of the Interior, Building and Community. You scroll down, you see what are the urgent reasons for crossing the border. And I'm going to close this here. Cross-border travel for urgent reasons such as medical treatment or death of a family member will be allowed on a case-by-case basis regardless of nationality. EU citizens and third country nationals returning to their country of origin or country of residence for which they have a long-term residence permit are still allowed to travel through Germany to reach their destination. The cross-border flow of goods and blah blah, right? So I think like these are the 2 more important things. That if you have a long-term residence permit and like your national visa type D actually qualifies you for that. So super important, like like get a confirmation from your local embassy when you're traveling with your national visa type D, and then just start if you want to travel like around like 1st April. Still like kind of avoid traveling right now. It's still like the systems are not in place. The reason like why everybody was like asking not to travel right now is because like there were no systems in place, and we want to like avoid the peak, so that the health system is still able to function in its capacity. But afterwards, when things get a bit better, like till 31st March, I think like you would still be able to travel as long as you have your student visas. But travel for tourist purposes by third country nationals with a Schengen visa is no longer permitted. So that is the story. I highly think that maybe the student visa is still like allowed, because we saw this Facebook post here where the student asked about, or like this person asked about traveling to Germany with national visa type D, and that's the same visa that you have as a student too. Right, so like you can get the confirmation from the embassy, you can post in our Facebook group Bharat in Germany, and then we can like see what kind of different responses the university is giving. So emergency cases we talked about, like death of a family member, or like if you have some kind of medical treatment, and then the possible actions are going to be that you try to come like after 10th April. I think like that's definitely the better way to do it. Ramesh is asking, is our money safe in expatriate since all banks are in crisis right now? Ramesh, that's not true. Banks are still doing fine, and the thing is, in Germany you still have the Einlagersicherung, which means that in any kind of bank your money is safe up to 100,000 euros. So the 10,236 euros that you submitted via expatriate to this Mango Pay, which is in Luxembourg, that money is still safe. And the time duration in which the money comes to you in case a bank goes bankrupt is 7 days, right? So don't worry about it. Like, this is not such a big problem. Like, I also have a completely online bank account, and it's running fine. The panic comes like the panic starts when students are, for example, just take, not students, like everybody just taking their money out, and like banks don't have any kind of reserves anymore. That is when the problem starts. And Gravitons is asking, Bhar, do you think this will affect intake and visa traffic for next year winter intake? I absolutely think so. Yeah, I think it is going to be definitely, I think even a bit lesser, at least right now, because you see like Indians panicking everywhere, man. Like, I see the stories, and I posted in the Facebook group like how maybe Indians in London or Indians in even Germany are like just panicking to go back to India, whereas like they're still able to get like really good treatment, medical treatment, and other kind of opportunities of just staying indoors completely fine. Okay, spamming is not really allowed. Just a second. Yeah, so that is a story. I mean, like, don't panic too much right now. Things are definitely going to get affected. Faizan is asking, just a second. Faizan was asking, hey Bart, is there any plan for German government to cancel or reduce rent of international students here in Germany? I don't think so, Faizan. I've talked to like some of my friends who are already studying, and they have raised the issue with the Studentenwerk, and they said like this is really the last priority right now. And it makes sense, like you are here for studying, and for them, they did not want you to finance your studies via part-time job. Like, that was an option when everything was running completely fine. They still want you to finance your studies via the blocked account, which is like the money that you already saved on the side, and then you're just like taking the money out from that so that you're able to fund your studies right now. So definitely more of a challenge to get into a university then. Yeah, I definitely think so. I think either the traffic will like increase like crazy, because there are going to be students who will be deferring their admit from this intake to the next one, or maybe there are students who are like, they just think like maybe, hey, going to Germany is just like not a good idea right now, which I do not understand, because coronavirus is not something which is just there in Italy or just there in Germany or just there in US. It is going to go everywhere. People are traveling, and it's like just spreading via people, So India is also going to be one of that. Or like maybe if situations get worse in India, then they want to like travel to Germany. I don't know how it is going to be, but like either like it is going to be one of two extremes. Either like people like do not come at all, or like people come like crazy. Nikhil is asking, hey Bharat, if we are doing internship but due to the current situation, then how should we save money, as the employer will be paying money a little bit late? I would say like find out any kind of Wohngemeinschaft, so like where you can like stay with a few other students together, and of course like are doing the normal social distancing, and try to reduce your rents. And also like when you're talking about like eating something outside, or like making some kind of meals, like try to make them at home as much as possible, right? what Alina and I, we have been doing is like, we had a lot of like lentils that we bought already. Like we are in the habit of buying in stocks. So like we stockpile stuff, and then we have like for a few weeks of like lentils, we have a few weeks of atta, and we have a few weeks of pasta and noodles and everything like that. So this like also keeps the cost low, because you're not like going there to like buy like fresh stuff every single time. Like you have the basics always there. And I think like this is the way better thing to do. And right now, like also if you have any kind of running subscriptions, like you have maybe a subscription of Spotify or a subscription of Netflix or something, cancel that. I think it's like rather important to save your money right now and like invest in the proper places, because no matter if you want it or not, like the recession is going to come, and it is going to affect everything. Even though Germany is trying its best to like help the smaller, these enterprises and freelancers, India isn't doing that. Like India is like still like kind of figuring out, hey, let's first lock down everything, first increase the excise duty, then increase the GST on the mobile phones, instead of saying, hey, like we are going to actually give you aid. In Germany, it's not about interest that the German government has put up. Like, there's like, I think 300 billion euros of money that they're going to be giving small businesses and freelancers like me in these times of like, financial distress. So that is not an interest. It's not like you're taking 2,000 euros from the government and you have to pay 10 or 20% interest or like 5% interest on it. No, it's like just money that they're giving you as an aid. That's not an interest, and I haven't seen that being done in India yet. It's like going the opposite way. So maybe if the economy goes down, it is going to be a lot worse in India than it would be in Germany. So let's see how things go further, and let's hope like the Indian government also like thinks about it, just like they have been planning to figure things out a bit better regarding this entire like coronavirus situation, and like stopping the travels and everything like that. We are not in Hamburg right now. Like I said, like we were working on the Airbnb when we got locked down, and yeah, we are here right now in Denmark on the Danish island. Also, like regarding these online courses I was talking about, like I started learning Danish again, like, and it reminded me about every single bit of how it was when I was like learning German. And I was learning it on Duolingo in the starting. And yes, it was like a crazy scenario in the starting, and like it was like maybe a bit slower, but I think it still like kind of puts you in that flow of like learning something. So like, if you want to like just get your feet wet and like want to kind of, start your language learning, or like maybe just like improve on it, then try to like get this take a look at Duolingo and start learning there. You have your Onliner if you want to like really focus on learning German. Then afterwards you have these online courses which are on my website. Like this is my course about like the students who want to like come to Germany for studying. And then there's like from Michael, who teaches like A1 to B1. That is also like a very nice course which you can take a look at. And then like for the students who are in or around Delhi, or like who also like want to maybe try a nice like language institute in India, I think Language Pantheon is really nice. Like these are just all of the different kind of resources that I've come across that students like use very nicely. So like you can take a look at all of these different kind of resources and see which fits the best to you. But you can always like just start with Duolingo. It's always free. If you want to join in the email list where I give like regular updates about different things, you can do that. The link is going to be in the description. And that is it for today, guys. If you have any kind of questions whatsoever, we are going to like join in again sometime, maybe tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. And for the students who are interested in investing and stuff, you can take a look at my other channel, which is called Branddevice. There I will be going live later, and like I will be talking about the stock markets and everything. I will put the link for that also in the description, so that you don't have to like figure out where to go and stuff. This is the channel though. That's like Branddevice, business and finance. I just have 77 subscribers right now. And I mean, it's nice, you know, like you always start from somewhere, and like this is something that I absolutely love, like starting from zero. And like this is my time for doing it with Brand Device. So if anybody's interested, who is living in Germany or like in EU, and like they want to like learn more about investing and like business and stuff, you can like take a look at that, right? Alright then, folks, thanks a lot for watching the video. I'll see you sometime again, and stay safe.